Everything matters. How we wake up, how we dress, how we eat, how we meet, how we train, how we practice, how we rehab, how we recover, how we treat one another, how we treat everyone.
Second half, that's our style. That's what we represent. Showing that fight, showing the urgency, showing the effort, the technique, and the violence that we stand for, guys.
Welcome to Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh. Here is your host, Eric Allen.
Welcome to Jets Game Day. Eric Allen, Bart Scott, my partner in crime here in studio. Brian Baldinger is going to be here as well. We'll check in with Cynthia Freeland, and we'll have the morning tea with Caroline Hendershot and Ethan Greenberg. But first, Bart, if I had told you before the season the Jets were 2-2 after 4 games, that would sound not too bad considering the gauntlet they've gone through here in the AFC North.
No, absolutely. I think you would have signed up for that immediately, especially now with the preseason being so short. It takes a couple of weeks for, everybody to get their footing. The Jets have had a lot of injuries, but it's been a lot of pleasant surprises in the first, 3 weeks. And let's see if these guys can continue to grow and get continuity now that the game is slowing down for some of the younger players.
So we certainly can't look ahead. The Jets have the opportunity to get to 2-2, but it is a big task today against the Pittsburgh Steelers because the Steelers are coming off a Thursday night game, and they've had 9 days to prepare for the green and white.
Oh, no, absolutely. You talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, a proud organization. They're going to be amped up in front of their fans. And it's a tough environment to play in. That's why communication is going to be key because, you talk about Pittsburgh, we call them Blitzburgh. They're going to bring some different looks that you're not going to prepare for. But as long as you understand that you weather those storms, you don't turn the football over, you're going to have an opportunity at the end because, they're struggling as well on the offensive side of the ball. So whoever turns the ball over is going to present an opportunity for the opposing team to put points on the board.
Matt Becker, let's not bury the lead. Zach Wilson, medically cleared to return this week. If he is indeed in the lineup today, what's your expectations for him?
Well, listen, we've seen the emergence of Garrett Wilson, who sets the table for everybody. His short area quickness, his ability to win off the line of scrimmage, but also now to dictate coverage. We know that Zach Wilson has tremendous chemistry with Elijah Moore. So if Elijah Moore can come to the party, they find ways to get him the ball in space, sometimes using Garrett Wilson as a decoy, then it frees everything up for everybody else. Breece Hall is emerging. We talk about Michael Carter. He's a constant that you can always count on. But, you talk about Blitzburgh, you got to be able to pull up some of these screens and draws as they're going to be an aggressive defense. There are going to be opportunities for big plays. You have to wait for those opportunities to present themselves. But when they do, there are opportunities to put 7 on the board.
The Jets certainly have to play with the lead. Through 3 games, they've played with the lead for 22 seconds. So you see that wide discrepancy in the pass-run ratio.
Well, absolutely. I mean, when you're from behind, the quickest way to try and make those points up is by throwing the football. But you understand that, to set the table so you don't put so much pressure on whether it's Flacco or Wilson. You want to make sure that you win on first down. That way you can still have, all the options on the menu, right? You still have an array of plays that you can keep the defense on their toes because we know if you have an incompletion on first down or you don't have a successful first down play, you have to try and get it back. So defenses understand that. They have their chart for a 2nd and long. But, if you got 3rd and short, or 2nd and short, you have an opportunities for play action where you can catch a defense off guard.
Let's not overlook the fact that the Jets have been good on the ground, both running the football. You mentioned Breece Hall before. I think he's gotten better each and every week. Michael Carter's really a threat running it and catching it. And then also the run defense, question mark before the start of the season, they've held up well against some good rushing teams.
No, absolutely. And I think Najee Harris is going to present its own unique obstacle or difficulty, but, I think they should be able to handle it. I mean, they went against the best in that division, maybe the best in the league when you talk about, going against the Cleveland Browns and what they're able to do. But on the outside, Mitchell Trubisky, be able to try and catch him in a mistake, showing him different looks, but also making them one-dimensional. If you can shut down the pass, you put it in the hands of Mitchell Trubisky, and your odds of winning the ball game goes up exponentially.
Around the corner, we're going to check in with head coach Robert Saleh. But here's Cynthia Freeland with some spice on Sauce Gardner.
It's time for Maximum Altitude with Cynthia Freeland, presented by NFL All Day.
In the final seconds of the first quarter of last week's matchup with the Bengals, Joe Burrow looked to connect with his favorite target, Jamar Chase. Rookie Sauce Gardner knew the assignment and matched Chase stride for stride on a deep outside the numbers attempt. The Jets rookie used his speed, body control, and physicality to disrupt the pass and prevent the 50 or more yard completion. In the second quarter, on another sideline play, but this time to T. Higgins, Gardner earned his second pass breakup on third down, forcing a punt. Then in the third quarter, he added a tackle for loss, stopping Jamar Chase on a 4th-and-1 run stop. Sauce was a big reason why Chase was held to just 29 receiving yards, the third lowest in his career. So far on the season, Gardner has allowed just 7 receptions for 92 yards on 106 coverage snaps with 3 pass breakups. It seems Sauce is picking up right where he left off in college. Computer vision shows Sauce had elite change of direction, body control, and pursuit speed in college, and he's gotten even faster at the NFL level. Let's see how he fares against Deontay Johnson and the Steelers' passing attack this week.
Don't go away. We're going inside the walls with Coach Saleh right after this.
How did your young quarterback, Zach Wilson, use his time away before he was medically clear?
He's been good. He's he's been going through his rehab schedule. He's been studying. He's been putting in extra time with his position coach and spending extra time on the football field. We've been able to get some 7-on-7 work with him. So he's been doing a really nice job preparing himself, and it's time to go now.
He's a competitive son of a gun, but how do you keep that while also saying, hey, listen, whenever you get out there, you don't have to make up for lost time?
Yeah, no, he doesn't. There's 10 guys around him that got to help him. There's also a defense that's got to help him. There's special teams. There's us as coaches. So it's not a one-man show. He doesn't have to do it by himself, and just know that he's a piece of the puzzle. He's not the puzzle, but a piece of the puzzle, and as long as we're all connecting together, we'll create a pretty cool piece of that.
Some starts and stops offensively, but can you talk about the playmakers that you see developing here on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, it's a young group. Obviously, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Brees Hall, Michael Carter, and then Conklin had a good day on Sunday. Corey's such a big body. Throw Barrios in there. We got a really cool group of guys, and it's just a matter of, again, there's an art to playing with one another. There's an art to the coordinator getting all the guys in the right position to make plays. There's an art to run blocking and protecting, and the quarterback having that in sync relationship with his receivers and back for that matter. So there's a lot of different things in play as they continue to grow and get to build this thing. We've created a lot of explosive plays on offense. We're just not getting across the goal line, and eventually it's going to click where that's going to happen at a high rate.
The juggling continues for you guys at tackle, but what can you say about Max Mitchell? Forcing a lineup in week 1, and here's a guy who's been playing along a really elite offensive lineman, Elijah Vera Tucker, and Mitchell does not look out of place.
No, he's doing a great job. He's a lot further ahead than we thought he'd be. Like we said, we drafted him in the 4th round and expected him to have a redshirt year, if you will, but this league is a war of attrition, and he has stepped right in. He's done a really nice job. Obviously, he's got a lot to improve on, but really pleased with the direction he's going. He's going to be a good football player for a very long time.
Defensively, as we look ahead to the Pittsburgh Steelers, how key is it going to be keeping Mitch Trubisky in the pocket? And that's one of the things that you were talking about after the game, that, hey, we can't let the quarterback escape.
Yeah, there's, for us, for the defense, it's going to come down to third down, keeping the quarterback in the pocket, and third down. Our first and second down defense has been doing a nice job. We're getting into advantageous situations on third down, and I think 7 of our 10 touchdowns allowed this year have come on third down, and those, which are critical money downs, which is where our rushing coverage, which we pride ourselves on, has got to step up and make plays. And we feel like we're really close, and like everything else, it's a matter of just piecing everything together and playing complementary football on that side of the ball to where we're getting off the field when we need to.
You've had the lead for 22 seconds in 3 games. How does the dynamic change, both offensively and defensively, if you actually do have the lead?
It changes. We had our opportunities last week too. You've got 7-3 ball in our hands and a chance to score off the turnover, and we end up with a field goal. We also have the 3-and-out, and we get the unsportsmanlike penalty on the quarterback on a 3-and-out where we could have had the ball. So we're having our ops. And if we can get a lead, we do feel like we'd be able to lean on our offensive and defensive lines to do some damage. And you're just looking for opportunities to close the game in the fourth quarter, which we had the opportunity in Cleveland. And they did give us the op, and we did close the door. But you want to get as many of those opportunities as you can, so you can do it.
What are you seeing from the Steelers offensively? Obviously, new quarterback and not a lot of production in terms of points so far early in the season, but they're playmakers at every level.
Yeah, they've got big, strong, fast receivers. They got a big back. They got a solid offensive line. They do a really nice job with regards to their scheme and creating a lot of run-pass issues for the secondary and the linebackers. So it's going to be a challenge from a defensive standpoint. Offensively, going against a defense that's really dynamic. In terms of just their playmakers. Obviously, they don't have TJ, which helps, but it doesn't really say much when you got Minka and Casey Hayward. And they got a lot of players on that defense that just fly around. So it's going to be a challenge. This AFC North is no joke, and it's the last one for us. But at the same time, we're excited about the opportunity to get after it too.
What changes for that offensive line playing against a 3-4 front?
Obviously, the targeting and all that changes. They're bigger bodies. They're less penetration, more read, if you will. But coverage is coverage. And so when it comes down to it, it's about moving people off the line of scrimmage.
I know the goal here is sustained success. When you look across the sideline, you see Tomlin, who took over in 2007. What do you think?
Can only dream. Can only dream that, and hopefully we get a run like that. That's every time I get a chance to talk to him. His run is deserved. It's earned. He's one of the better coaches in football, and he's an inspiration in the sense that we'd love to do it here in New York.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
After the break, we're back in the studio talking Jets football and breaking down the tape on the Steelers. Don't go away. Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh is brought to you by MetLife, the official insurance company of the New York Jets.
Welcome back. Eric Allen and Brian Baldinger inside the studio. I told the Matt Backer to take a walk, but we'll bring Bart Scott back for more. Baldy, thanks for coming on One Jets Drive. Let's get right to it. The Jets are facing a Pittsburgh Steelers team today. They're in transition.
They are, and it starts at the quarterback position. Ben Roethlisberger isn't there anymore, and so Rich Trubisky is the starter. Started the first 3 games. They have struggled as an offense, period, to score points. And so really when you watch them, it comes down to the quarterback play. Can they get the ball down the field to some really good receivers and some good tight ends? And they have struggled to do that.
In terms of the pass game, though, the Steelers have weapons. Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and watch out for rookie George Pickens, the kid who made an unbelievable catch in front of the nation.
He did. And, when you watch him right here, he's just going to run this go route, okay, taking it right down the field. And Mitch Trubisky's got movement. He can get outside the pocket. And right here, he cuts this ball loose. And this catch it's just one of those highlight reel catches. It's one-handed. He's reaching back right here. He's able to corral the ball. He's got special skills. I saw him in Latrobe this summer, and I thought he was as good a young-looking receiver as I had seen, EA. He looks special, and now there's got to be a way, and I think they've got 10 days to get ready for this game. They're going to find a way to get him the ball more frequently.
Yeah, the Steelers are going to take their shots, but I like what the Jets have on the outside with DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner, huh?
No. Look, they've got the guys that can line up against these players because there is Deontay Johnson, who's a guy that's 5'10", but he's quick and can separate. They've got a guy like Chase Claypool, who's a bigger guy, not as quick, but he's got size to him. So they've got guys that they can throw the back shoulder fade routes to. They can throw the jump balls and the contested catches to. So there's going to be a lot of chances for these guys down the field.
No Watt for the Steelers on defense, and the Jets are making a number of moves at the tackle position. Unfortunately, 3 players in injured reserve since the start of training camp.
The guy that you have to kind of pay attention to in Pittsburgh's defense up front is Alex Highsmith. He's the guy now, there's the pass rusher, but they've kind of changed their defense a little bit. They've gone bigger up front with Highsmith, so it's a little bit different than the typical 3-4 or the nickel look that they like. But the key is the back end of their defense is Minka Fitzpatrick. And Minka Fitzpatrick is just an elite player. He's the final line of defense. Nick Chubb breaks free right here, and there's Minka Fitzpatrick. The play ends when he gets there. He's got elite tackling ability. He's the free safety. That's where he likes to play. But he also has the ability right here. Like here he is, week 1, second play of the season right here. And all he's doing right here is he's reading the quarterback's eyes. All right, he's reading Joe Burrow the whole way. All right, and when you watch him, Joe Burrow right here is trying to get the ball to his Tyler Boyd, and he jumps it. And he runs back for the first touchdown of the season by the Steelers. It's pick 6. But you always have to be conscious of Minka Fitzpatrick back there. He's the free safety. He's got instincts, he's got ball skills, and he's a great tackler. He's a guy you got to pay attention to.
If Fitzpatrick opened the week in concussion protocol, if he were to miss any action at all, how big of a loss?
It's huge. He's their quarterback of the defense. And so when I look at Minka Fitzpatrick, like he's lining everybody up. He's their guy in the back end that can make all the plays. And like without him, they lose a big chunk of what they do defensively.
So we're going to have to see what happens. Coming up, we'll have the morning tea with Caroline Hendershot and Ethan Greenberg. And then I'll be back with Bart Scott for our final thoughts on Jets Steelers.
You know, I can't believe it's already week 4, Ethan.
I can't believe it's spooky season. October's here, new month. We got to start with some good juju.
Okay, let's go.
Zach Wilson medically cleared.
Woo!
All signs point to him starting his first game in a couple hours. Also, Zach Wilson hasn't thrown a pick in 5 games.
That's pretty exciting. And you know, Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, both said he hasn't looked like he missed a beat since the end of training camp. So that's great news. But you know who else didn't miss a beat? Last Sunday, Greg Zuerlein.
4 for 4, 2 field goals over 50 yards, becoming the 11th kicker in NFL history with at least 40 field goals of over 50 yards.
That's why he's Greg the Leg.
Or Legatron, depending on which nickname you want to go with.
True.
Let's keep on the missing a beat theme.
Okay.
Something that's actually missing a beat, that's Pittsburgh's defense. No TJ Watt in the lineup.
Okay, yes, but Alex Highsmith leads the league in sacks with 4.5, so that's something the Jets' offensive line, who is missing George Fant, is going to have to be wary of.
And George Fant placed on injured reserve earlier this week. We started with some good juju. Let's end with some. You ready?
Okay, hit me.
The Steelers are 0-6 without TJ Watt in the lineup, and of course he's not playing today.
I like those odds.
The Jets, Caroline, at the end of the day, after 4 games, have a chance to be 2-2.
Guess we'll see.
That's the T.
That's the T.
This segment is brought to you by HCL, Supercharging Progress.
Great tea as always from Caroline and Ethan. Are you a tea guy or a coffee guy?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I'm a coffee guy for my pre-workout. When I want to woo-side out, I'm a tea and crumpets type of dude.
Well, I'm a coffee guy. It is game day. We are hours away from Jets Steelers. For all the talk, rightfully so, about the Jets quarterbacks, with Zach Wilson being medically cleared to return this week. How about the Pittsburgh Steelers situation? Mitch Trubisky, the starter, but Kenny Pickett waiting in the wings.
I tell you what, and he's feeling the pressure right now. You have a receiving core that's a little frustrated with Mitchell Trubisky and not pushing the ball down the field. You know, and you know, when that chatter happens, you know, it's only a matter of time before the Boo Birds come out. It's going to be the Jets' responsibility to make sure that they let Mitchell Trubisky feel the pressure. They got to win on first down and put the game squarely in his hands.
Their defense took a major hit. TJ Watt out. Jets are dealing with major issues at the tackle position. Interesting matchup up front.
Yeah, absolutely. But you got to have your antennas up because they don't call it Blitzburg for no reason. And even without TJ Watt, they can create pressure by blitzing. You have to make sure that you're ready for your hot routes. If you're the side adjust guy, you got to make sure that you cut your route off because your quarterback's going to be under duress. They're going to come with some exotic blitzes that maybe you've never seen before. But if you know that you have to come back and be friendly for your quarterback, you give yourself a chance.
Give me an X factor for the Jets.
I mean, I tell you, the X factor to me is Elijah Moore because I think they're going to do everything to try and take away, you know, Garrett Wilson because they understand how special he is and the respect that he's garnered early in his career. We need Elijah Moore to get the ball in space and be able to be that touchdown-making machine he was late in the season last year for the Jets.
Love it because 17 is going to get a lot of attention as he continues to be productive for this team. Finally, Pittsburgh Steelers, what goes through your mind when you hear those 2 words?
A lot of joy and a lot of pain, you know, right? And you understand that the joy has been going there. There's no better place to play. We talk about the environment, but, you know, when you talk about, you know, the history between, you know, myself and the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know, stopping me from going to the Super Bowl twice, you know, I think I'll probably cry in the car. Yeah, but thanks for picking this guy out.
Listen, sunshine, opportunity for the Jets today. Got an opportunity to be 2-2 after 4 games. Will it happen? We're about to find out.